Good morning, welcome. It's a wonderful Friday episode. The week is over, and
finally,
this is 1 week I'm happy is over. No, I'm not really happy it's over. Well, it's Friday, just because, well, Saturday now looks like Monday for me, but whichever way, we're here to ensure that we usher you into a wonderful weekend.
when you get to Friday and you can still see some fuel inside your tank, you're like, I made it. I made it. But, well, hey, we are that little boost that you need, that sunshine after a rainy day, and hopefully that hot cup of coffee or tea that helps to keep you warm and invigorated.
See, you're drinking that bandit stuff again.
What, man? What? Why?
This coffee is so black. It's so gangster that you have to be a bandit to take that level.
No.
Some other person who I'm definitely sure our coffee is lighter, but I'm not very sure because bandits can come in different forms. Is MM? MM, how dark is your coffee?
Oh, darling, my coffee is so light with
Okay,
lots of cream. Lots of cream.
All right.
Good morning, people. I mean, it's one of those days where you definitely need a cup of coffee to wake you up. It's Friday, but it feels like Monday.
Well, anyways, we're here to ensure that it is going to be a wonderful show. My name is Mike Mesikeno.
And I'm Titilaya Oyinson. You can, of course, use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC across all social media platforms to be a part of the best breakfast show on Nigerian TV.
We're live absolutely anywhere. Use our app. The app is downloadable, iOS and also Google Play Store.
You can also watch us, you're probably watching us right now on GOTV channel 16 or on UHF channel 49.
That's TVC Connect across Facebook, Instagram, X, and of course, LinkedIn.
Thread?
Yeah, LinkedIn.
LinkedIn?
Yeah, LinkedIn.
You
LinkedIn.
added LinkedIn to this one.
LinkedIn, because Thread has just been like a waste of time.
Really?
He has filled with
I
that one.
actually don't think so.
I bet he has filled with that
I
one.
don't think so.
It's like a 90% drop. 90. Do you know what 90 means? Massive.
well.
But anyway, we'll talk about that some other time. Let's kick off the show with Oba Casual, a fashion designer. We're having fashion today, this morning.
Of course we are.
All right.
Now, he's redefining fashion and he's all about self-empowerment for him. We can't wait to see what he's showcasing later on today. Okay, right, yay.
Yeah.
Finally, we made it. So I mentioned getting to the end of the week with a full fuel tank for a reason. Has anybody noticed that there's almost no traffic in some areas now?
Ooh, darling, tell me about it. Yesterday.
Okay,
so I had a meeting at my store. Yeah, with a team of other women that were working together on...
Which of your stores, by the way?
Oh, yes, Ready to Wear by MM.
Which one?
I haven't actually said it.
Yes.
A physical store. It's at,
Which one? Is it the one in UK? The one in...
No, it's the one in
the
Lagos
US
now.
or the one on the island?
Lagos, the one
Which
on
in
the
Lagos?
island.
Ikorodu,
Island.
mainland,
Lagos
island, hinterland.
Wow, Mike.
She has everywhere. She's just...
Thank you so much,
that
Mike,
way,
for
yeah.
the hype. I really appreciate it. Yes, so the one on Lagos Island, and I really took my time. Afterwards, I entered Eco Market, went to shop for fabrics. I wasn't in a hurry because I knew that there was not going to be traffic.
Going back.
And there was no traffic because I left Lagos at about 5. Darling, it was a smooth ride all the way home.
All the way.
By 5.
Yes, Mike.
5 p.m.
3rd Mainland Bridge was free. Driving towards Oronshoki, Ogudu, free.
If I'm driving at Terminal and feel bad, I will turn back.
Why?
Because you've been wearing, right?
Something's happening.
It's strange.
No, I'm serious. I fully don't believe you, man.
No,
I
but
promise
really,
you,
got
Mike.
the same-
I know. But you see, but that's
same
the point. You see, when something has happened for so long,
It becomes really strange, right?
Maybe I feel like some people, I don't know, am I sure of the time?
I promise you, Mike.
There was a 6 p.m. meeting I had on the mainland, and there was someone joining us from Ikoyi, and the person left at 5:30.
Wow.
And they got to us at 6.
So you see,
It
the
was
day you not think that traffic is going to be free, yeah, enter the road by 30 minutes later you go. You will reach there the next day. But yeah, you see something about towns where you don't have to, where the traffic is not so much, is that you don't have to wake up so early. I mean, in Lagos, I've heard of stories of who wake up by 3:30, 4. Some of us wake up by then, but it's not like we have to leave by then. For people that have to leave so early to make up where they are. And I think people are now deciding, well, we all know that people are now, if it's not important, they don't go. If it's if they don't just, it's rare now to just stroll out somewhere. It has to be important and all of that. And that doesn't mean that leisure isn't important because we all need it at some time.
At this point, there are alternatives to leisure. In and around your environment,
true.
You can
especially
to.
especially where you have streaming platforms now. Just popcorn and chill.
Honestly, at this point.
So yeah, a lot of us are learning to not just. I mean, there's something I would have gone out yesterday if it was on a normal time. Oh, Benny. What's
Put on your TV.
And then even the way we put on the gen when there's no light now.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's this. People need to be careful. A lot of people are, how do I put it now? The gens now, they are they are moving their gens to gas. They are working on it, and then gas is now powering gens. You have to be careful that if you do, it is scientifically, yes, you can use your gas to power a gen, but you have to be careful. Who is doing it? Does the person know what they are doing? Because a lot of people have been doing it, and then not all are genuine. So do be careful.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say that this time, before we put on gen, we just have to think twice. And I have to buy power bank because my old power bank don't spoil.
It's actually power stations that are raining now. And when I say power stations, so those boxes that are like huge power banks, they have a big handle. They're like the size of a briefcase. Yeah.
Those things, they can power a house.
Is it mobile?
It's mobile.
Yes, I've seen those
stations.
ones. I've seen some.
Oh,
I've seen some of them.
I've seen some of them. It's incredible what people are doing.
I've seen some
Like
of them.
solar?
No, not even solar. You charge it in the
So
house.
it's just a
And then
it's just
it
a
powers
battery.
the house.
It can't power the house, but it can power all your
smaller
devices.
things, so your devices, not the
TV,
house.
Laptop,
The
phones,
freezer.
fans. No, come on.
Too heavy.
Yeah,
Yeah. Want to power
Anyway,
it?
it would have been an option, but...
But I know where you can get a solar freezer if you want one. Yeah. Yes, I do. Don't worry. I'm really interested in these alternative sources of power, but there's always going to be sunshine here in Nigeria, isn't there?
Good morning. The news on Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Mike Messi Kennel. The National Economic Council has approved the release of more food items to all states and the FCT to reduce the impact of the rising cost of food and other commodities. It was also disclosed at the NEC meeting that the federal government has approved the sum of 5 billion naira for each state for the procurement of food items. But 52% of this money will be disbursed as grants, while 48% is to be paid back to the Central Bank of Nigeria within the period of 20 months. TVC News State House correspondent Femi Akonde reports.
The National Economic Council has continued to roll out more interventions that will cushion the impact of the withdrawal of subsidy payments. Already there is a disruption to the national life with the rising inflation that has caused a spike in prices of food items, transport and other commodities. The federal government has approved 5 billion naira for each state and trucks of food items and other commodities as a stopgap to push back the current economic hardship.
52% of this money is given to states as grants, while 48% of the 5 billion naira is to be paid back on an installment basis within a period of 2 years, 20 months.
The MSME credit, billions and tens of billions that are being pumped into the market, even under this palliative, as it were. MSME receiving about 75 billion. You have the 100 billion agri credit.
The National Economic Council disclosed that the federal government is yet to provide succor to households and communities impacted by the devastating floods of 2022. This is because some governors of the affected states are yet to submit a comprehensive report on the loss incurred.
Right Honorable Aminu Waziri Tambuwal drew the attention of the Council to the devastating effect.
As the implementation of resolutions reached by the country's highest economic body continues across the country, NEC is also getting presentations and inputs from various stakeholders on how to grow the economy and improve the quality of living.
Objectives of macroeconomic stability to be one, to have a high and stable economy, to have low inflation, to reduce unemployment.
Border communities between Nigeria and Niger Republic will also get special attention as they grapple with the biting effects of the border closure and the influx of refugees due to sanctions imposed by ECOWAS on the landlocked West African country. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
Now, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, has invited all ministers designate to the swearing-in ceremonies to be presided over by President Bola Tinubu on Monday, the 21st of August 2023. The ceremony is scheduled to hold at State House Conference Center, Presidential Villa, Abuja at 10 a.m. Ministers designate are to note that their documentation will take place at the conference room, General Services Office, second floor office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday 19th and Sunday 20th of August 2023. They are expected to come with their CVs, a birth certificate, and 2 passport photographs for documentation. The minister designated is to provide the names of their 3 guests during the documentation process for access to the venue. Then on to foreign stories. The governor of Hawaii has promised to protect people from land grabs when the island of Maui rebuilds after massive wildfires that incinerated homes and burned entire communities to the ground. Governor Josh Green said he instructed the U.S. State's Attorney General to work towards a moratorium on land transactions in Lahaina, the historic town that was largely destroyed in last week's blazes. My intention from start to finish is to make sure that no one is victimized from a land grab, end of quote, Green said during a news conference on Wednesday. The fire on August 8, which raced through down the base of a volcano into Lahaina, was the deadliest in the United States in more than 100 years. It destroyed or damaged about 2,200 buildings and killed at least 110 people, although officials say that the death toll is likely to rise as crews continue to dig through the rubble to search for remains. Residents of Lahaina fear that the rebuilt town could become even more oriented towards wealthy visitors, according to Lahaina native Richie Palale. We had already started.
Yeah.
And, okay, but that's different from what we want to talk about this morning, yeah? You have it for us?
It was a really sad one.
There's not X on your phone. I've not updated, though. So it's still the blue.
I didn't even have to update my phone.
It auto-updated.
It showed
Mine
up.
didn't.
It didn't?
So I intentionally do all my best to try not for apps not to auto-update.
Really?
Let it be, because what happened with one particular banking app, they were sending mails anyhow. Then I just went to auto-update, and then I went to update, and I wasn't happy with the experience. So let them do some,
testings.
Lab rats with some. But then, hey, let's go to what we have to talk about this morning.
It's actually a sad one. The issue of the suicide rate in Nigeria has been coming up, especially on social media. Now, there was someone having a conversation with me some time back when we talked about the number of policemen that are usually on Third Mainland Bridge. And during the conversation, I was like, oh, it's to secure people during traffic, so that, there are less petty thieves and, snatch and grab situations. But someone also said that no, it's actually not about the petty thieves alone. That is actually to stop people from jumping.
Oh, really?
Apparently, they were there to also stop people from jumping. Now, I'm not sure how true this information was, but the person just went on to tell me that, you have no idea how many people just park their cars on the bridge and then just decide to jump.
Unfortunately, Lekki Ikoyi Bridge has also become another, would I say, a means for committing suicide. It has become another whatever that people use as well. I mean, because we have a story here of a beauty entrepreneur that attempted suicide. She's House of Frida. Actually, she attempted suicide. I don't know if it was yesterday or 2 days ago. Last night, according to reports. And well, thank God for passerbys that were able to, quickly, and the police that were quickly able to, save her and from, jumping over. It's a very sad situation. And this is someone that she's quite known. She's quite an influential person, right? She just went through, she got married 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And according to the report, there are speculations that it could be because of her recent separation from her newly wedded spouse, that this happened. But we can't say for sure if it is the reason for the attempted suicide.
There are quite a few different reasons. A lot of people are going through tough times, depression. Well, the main thing is the mental health and mental state of the average Nigerian. And I say average Nigerian because there's a lot of stuff people are going through that they're not allowed to talk about because of maybe cultural differences, norms, values within a family, religious issues.
For some people, it's pride.
Pride, even just questioning their masculinity.
Or sexuality.
Or sexuality. Some people just cannot speak up about things like this. Even just assuming they have anything wrong with their mental health is already a problem. Talk less of finding help, finding someone to talk to or address this matter with. Now, who would have believed or who would have thought that 2 months after such a beautiful wedding, she would be going through something like this? It's one of those God forbid situations, but there's a reason why it keeps occurring. And I feel like
not to make light of the situation, by the way, but your hair looks like you just came out from a wedding or something.
Well,
it's beautiful, by the way.
Hey, it's a wedding look. Thank you so much. But not to make light of the situation, as you said, someone like her is no different from someone who just maybe didn't pass their exam the 3rd time. Maybe they weren't called to bar, or maybe they were jilted by a boyfriend, or maybe they were even jilted of money.
Questions
Maybe someone
first.
took money from them, or they lost something precious to them.
Questions. We get, after, I remember the last time I jumped into an issue or a video I saw without questioning, as it were, I felt that was the jump issue, right? Let's look at this in the first place, yeah? Of course, we know that there are people that have attempted suicide, people that have committed suicide and all of that. But in this video, first of all, what is happening, what we see is a crowd around her in the first place. What is the authenticity of this? Look, we have gotten to the point where it is not out of the realm of possibility that this kind of thing is staged. That is number one. Number two is that, like I said, we're not trying to say that we do have mental health issues and all of that. But then we have jumped into a lot of things without what preceded this.
Okay,
in the first place.
There are quite a lot of posts and follow-ups to this particular video that we are seeing, which is why we just decided, that it's an issue to talk about. There was also a dispatch rider who did something similar.
Who committed suicide. That was last week. I saw that report. Still on that Lekki-Ikoyi bridge. Like I said, it's like people have moved from 3rd Mainland Bridge to the Lekki-Ikoyi bridge. And his body was found later on. The conversation is basically centered around the alarming rate of suicide right now. So whether it is jumping over the bridge or one way or one, another way or another way.
Some taking questionable substances,
whatever.
Drinking all sorts of
things.
It
is, I think this, at this rate, what I'm just going to say is, I know that there's a lot of, or there's been a lot of mental health awareness. There's been a lot of NGOs doing what they can to ensure that, people are taking their mental health very seriously.
Yeah.
But then again, when I saw the video of this lady, which is quite an emotional one, I wondered, it made me question, when was the last time I checked on a loved one?
Yeah.
Because not every one of us can actually afford to see a therapist. But we need one another to keep each other sane. With everything that's going on, regardless whether it is economic or whether it is financial or whether it is emotional or physical, we need one another to be able to You know, we always, okay, I was having a conversation with my husband a few days ago, and I was saying to him that everybody just needs someone. Everyone needs companionship. Everybody needs love. No matter how anybody comes out to say, oh, I'm strong enough, I can handle it, I can do it. No, darling, you can't handle it.
You have to lean on someone.
You need someone. We all need somebody to hold on to.
Challenge now is
to support.
Those same people that in most cases you're supposed to lean on sometimes even become the source of this depression. There are some people that just talk you down, that some people that just can never see anything right with what you're doing. You start a new project and someone is always trying to find something negative about what's going to happen to that project or prophesying doom on things. You know, there are even some parents who continue to call their children all sorts of names when they don't pass, or when maybe they don't do their chores, or they look scruffy on a particular day, or they don't smile, or they don't greet someone well. The source really is us. The same people that we're supposed to lean on for help, for hope, are sometimes the source of that depression.
Definitely. What I always say is, do your best personally to, especially on social media and the rest, to curate your timeline in such a way that you can put away these things. Like I think that personally.
It's time for us to take a quick look at what's happening on the covers of the dailies this morning, and we're going to have Mike joining us on this one.
Why introducing me?
How you doing, Mike?
Okay, let's go. What are you starting with? This day, okay.
Newspaper.
Let's go.
It says NNPCL gets $3 billion loan from Afrexim Bank to stabilize FX and Naira gains. Funds to be released in installments, repaid with crude oil. Petrol prices may fall on increasing dollar liquidity. And it also says here, government that detained, vilified Emefiele for taking FX loans to defend Naira, also going the same route, it says here. What else do we have? It says, on the Forex crisis, we must export, else things will not get better, says Obaseki. And right at the top, it says here, Tinubu assigns portfolios to 45 minister designates ahead of Monday's swearing in. Now, there is quite a list of ministers that we've been seeing. It's a very interesting list. Actually, some of the names here, Edun, Finance, Keyamo, Aviation, Badru, Defense, Oyetola, Transportation, Bagudu, Budget, and Umahi, Works, and Wike, FCT. Quite a lot of buzz on social media as well about this particular list. And I have to say, I was actually intrigued with how much people are showing an interest in this list, and also trying to give their own version of assessment of how impactful each of these people will be in their designated areas.
Definitely, you know, to put Nigeria together, the onus falls on not just the president, but the governors, and especially the ministers also. They are part of a cabinet. In fact, even more on them than the president, because, I mean, when you look at the ministry, so for instance, you say something like works or housing or mineral resources, as it were, as it's being called now, steel and all of that. These people, when they have allocations, what do they do with what they need to be done? I mean, it's not the president at that particular point. So yes, interest will be shown. Hopefully these people are, there's some of them that move. For all of them, of course, you need them to be good managers of people, and then for some of them, you need them to be passion projects. So, for instance, like sports and youth development and all of that, which are now been separated. So, but I would just say that I hope the most important thing is that they understand how to manage people, how to manage resources, because more it's people and resources. Resources will be allocated to them, and then it's all about how they manage those resources that will be allocated to their respective ministries.
We all have, you know, our hopes and thoughts on all those industries doing well, all those ministries doing well over the next few years. We're going to move on to the Daily Trust newspaper. Here it's on Niger, the major headline. AU opposes military action as ECOWAS readies forces. Mal's suspension and protests in Ghana, recruitment drive of volunteer fighters in Niamey. It says here under the masthead, Palliatives, federal government approves 180 billion for states. Military says 3 officers, 22 soldiers killed by terrorists in Niger. Nigeria complex, but not too difficult to manage, says Tinubu. It also says here, beside the photo story, Abuja housewife bursts into tears as a barrow pusher escapes with her foodstuff, and Jega to lead Carter Center election observation mission to Zimbabwe. Address forex challenges, other fiscal issues, experts tell Edu. And right at the bottom it says bribery allegation heats up, Kano election petitions tribunal. Now we do see quite a lot of headlines focusing on the north here. I'm not sure where we've reached when it comes to this issue of palliatives. Because there's a lot of back and forth about whether it's going to be as impactful to give a man a fish or actually teach him how to fish, so to speak. What do you think?
One can do both. You can give him a fish while he's learning how to fish, because, I mean, if he's learning how to fish and his stomach is empty, what if he jumps inside the water with the fish? And my point is that you can teach him how to fish and also give those palliatives. So, but the issue has always been, remember from the time of COVID, how is palliative going to be shared? It is about the people, the process. What is the process? Like, we've heard a lot of things. If 5 naira is supposed to get to somebody at the end, it's 1 naira 50 kobo that gets to you. Somewhere in the process, some money is going down, all of that. Hopefully this one is different. Hopefully this one is different. Let's just see how it is going to happen, because we heard about a percentage, particular percentage is for direct disbursement, and then there's another percentage for foodstuffs. So let's just see how this one is going to be disbursed, and if it's going to be fair, as it were, if it's going to be transparent.
Yeah.
That's talking about the process for disbursement.
I actually think there's a gap there for people in maybe tech to figure out, if you can figure out proper ways these palliatives can be distributed.
I mean, it's not hard now. Everybody, there's a BVN, there's a data bank. I mean, you have BVN. It shouldn't be hard if you want to. But that's the point where people always find a way to hoodwink and go through stuff. But it is not hard if you want to actually be transparent.
Let's see what we have on the cover of the Punch newspaper at this point. It says, Labour faults 180 billion naira palliatives. Says governors will frustrate program. Says here states to get 180 trucks of rice. NLC, TUC worry politicians will hoard materials. NEC NEC committee to meet Labour over subsidy relief. Tinubu appeals to Nigerians. It also says here in the photo story, Emefiele, DSS drops firearms charge. It says 6.9 billion naira fraud case adjourned. It says here, let's see. All right, let's see. Yeah, it also says military mourns 25 soldiers killed in Niger, hunts bandits. It says here, family faults release of Lagos chief's suspected killer. That's what we have on the cover of the Punch. All right, then, at this point, we have to wrap it up on the covers on the dailies for this morning. Thanks, Mike, for joining us on this one. MM is standing by with our chef.
Yes, I am. Thank you very much, TT. Welcome to the kitchen, guys. With me is Chef Bukola. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine.
This morning, guys, she will be making yamarita with pepper sauce. Ooh. Just what we need to kickstart our mornings, right? Great. So, Bukola, run through the ingredients for our yamarita, then our pepper sauce.
Okay, we have yam here. We have sugar. Sugar is optional.
Okay.
We have all-purpose flour. We have eggs. We have groundnut oil. We have, for the pepper sauce, we have scotch bonnet pepper. We have green pepper. We have onions. And we have some seasonings and some mixed spices.
Oh, great. It already looks tasty, even if it's not ready yet. Okay, so for our yam, what are we doing with it?
Okay, we are going to cut the yam into a desired shape. You can use this shape, but I'm going to cut it to my own desired shape.
Okay. All right. If you're wondering right now why the yam is soaked in water, it's because she is preventing it from turning brownish. So, yeah, so we're just using water basically to preserve the yam. But then again, is it an old yam? Is it new yam? Because
It's a new
yam in the
yam.
market,
Yeah,
right?
it's a new yam.
And this one needs to be very, you need to be an expert when it comes to yams right now, when you go shopping for yams, because there are certain yams that are good for pounded yam, some are good for frying, some are good for cooking, and some are good for making porridge. Yeah, so you need to be very, very meticulous when shopping for yams. But hey, let's get right to it. So what are we starting with, the yams or?
The yams first.
The yams, great. You said you wanted to cut it into a what?
Desired shape.
Great. So teachers, tell us, let's see it. How you're going to work your magic with the yams. Now, while you're doing that, so go ahead, bring out the chopping board. What do you need? And your knife. Great. Okay. So when we're done with the cutting of the yam, what's next?
I'm going to boil it, like 80% done.
Okay. And then?
Then when it is 80% done, I'm going to coat it in flour and egg.
Okay.
Then after that, I'm frying it.
All right. If you missed out on the ingredients earlier on, we are making yamarita with pepper sauce. On your screen right there are the ingredients. We have our yam, we have our eggs, vegetable oil, salt, all-purpose flour, sugar, green bell peppers, and we have our scotch bonnet, which is atarodo, and of course we have our seasonings and our sugar. So I'm curious, where does the sugar come into this mix?
Inside the yam. It is very optional.
Oh, okay. So are you going to add the sugar to the boiling yam?
Yes.
Okay. And then when it's 80% ready, how do you know when the yam is 80% ready?
You have to check.
You have to keep checking.
Yes.
So it's going to be soft but not soft?
Yes, not really
just
soft.
Just somewhere in between?
Yes.
Okay. And when that is ready, talk us through how, you know, to begin the yamarita.
Okay, I'm going to prep the eggs.
Okay.
Mix it
is
with
there any seasoning going into the
eggs?
eggs?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going in with salt.
Okay.
With grounded pepper.
Okay.
Ginger garlic paste.
Okay.
Then optional things, you can use curry, you can use any other thing inside. Okay. Then I'm going to prep my flour too.
Okay. What are we doing with the flour? Are we going to add anything?
Yeah,
to it?
Sugar can go inside the flour.
Okay, we already like that one.
Sugar can go inside the flour, salt and other spices can go inside the flour.
Okay. So once the yam is ready, after boiling it, then what do we do? After boiling it, I'm coating it directly inside the flour. Okay, and then the eggs? Yes. And then we fry it? Yes, we fry it. Okay. I particularly love yamarita, and I love yams, to be honest, from fried to boiled to cooked to any sort of yam. I love yams. I'm always looking forward to the new yam festivals because I mean my husband they celebrate it in their where he's from, and I'm always looking forward to it because I love yams. Yes. Okay, so Chef Bukola is getting to work, and I'm not sure if do you need me to do anything? Not really. Just stand pretty right here with you in the kitchen. Giving you supports, right? Yeah. You go, Bukola, you go. You got this, girl. All right. So we're going to cook our yam in a bit, right? Yes. Yeah, so I see what you've done with the yam. So it makes it easier, you know, to coat in. Oh, nice. Really, really nice. I think kids are also going to love it. It also, you know, gives it a fun way to enjoy yams, right? Because kids actually run away from eating yams. But all right, guys, we've got a quick break now while we're prepping things up, getting things ready here in the kitchen. We don't want you to go anywhere, please. Pretty please. Thank you. We'll be right back.
It's great to be back in the studio, especially when we have guests like this one. Kemi Adekonbi is a filmmaker. She is an actor, she's an MC, she is a voiceover artist, And this lover of the mastery is here to show her or share her journey with us. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much. It's really nice to be here.
Yeah, we're wearing the same color. Did we plan this?
I mean, it's something, yeah.
Honestly.
It's all right.
No, so I love the fact that you're not just on screen, but you're also off screen. I know that you're working on something special that's coming out very soon. Talk to us about that.
Okay, so I act, I produce, I direct, but this particular one I produced. And it's a story about, you know, I'm not going to spill all of the beans, but it's actually on the post-production. It's the story of a lady who was impatient. You know, she didn't get her facts right with her man, and the man ended up doing something, and in the end, it was something.
Okay. You're not letting any of those things out of the bag.
So people can wait for it when it comes out.
No problem. But you need to take us through the journey. How did this all begin for you? Because filmmaking from back in the day, and I say back in the day loosely, wasn't always the career of choice. So were you in the corporate world before you jumped in?
Absolutely. I was 8 to 5 for so many years, and then I left 8 to 5 about 13 years ago.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm actually a microbiologist by study.
Goodness me.
A lot of people wonder how from sciences to... But the thing is, you know, back then, our parents didn't quite... they were not really conscious of how, you know, where this person wants to be. If, you know, like now, you can tell kids, okay, it's tilting towards science, it's towards arts. I've always been art-oriented. But then, you know, there was something they used to say then that, you know, the bookworms are in science, then the next are in commercial, then the, you know, but of course, we know that's not true. So I ended up being in science class, but I wasn't a science person in any way. You know, somehow I just, you know, I just told myself, I know what I want to do. And then a friend of mine, Kende Akintoye, particularly, you know, he said to me, he said, Kemi, why not attend the National Broadcast Academy? Okay. And I said, okay, that's true. I mean, that would move me from sciences. So I went there, I studied broadcasting, actually, presentation. I also worked at a radio station for a couple of years as a newsreader, yeah.
So this is a journey.
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
And so after some time, I knew I wanted to do film. I started off as an actor many years ago, like 2004, 2005, but I was trying to round up in university, so it was a bit tough. So I said to myself, okay, when the time comes, I'll come back. So about 6, 7 years ago, I came back fully and I said, this is what I want to do. So I actually started off with acting.
So now it feels like, well, the way it was before, like the early 2000s and how it is now, it's a really big difference in the industry. And that could have been, in quote, overwhelming for you to jump back into. So how were you able to handle that?
It wasn't quite easy because, like I said, I took a while to start a family, get married, have kids and all of that. And then when I was done with all of that, I knew that, okay, I mean, I'm ready for it because it's really not easy combining the home front with, you know, the act of filmmaking and all of that. But when I came back, I said to myself, this is what I really want to do. So I started off with acting, and then by the grace of God, I got Best Actress Award. So at some point, I said, okay, I think I want to start making films. So I started off with production. I'm an alumni of Del York Film Academy. Amazing. And also an alumni of Ebony Life Academy. I studied directing. So I said, okay, I think I want to go behind the camera now.
So it sounds very intentional.
Yeah.
You mentioned the National Broadcasting Academy.
Yeah.
You've mentioned Del York, and now you've also mentioned Ebony Life. So this is you actually crafting your skill, honing your craft rather, and building on it. But is it that you felt like you couldn't move forward without those courses in the industry? Some go without.
Yeah, not exactly. You see, I'm the kind of person who likes to be a professional in whatever she does. I say it all the time. Not because I had to, but you see, to be a professional, you know, sometimes you need to know the technical know-hows of what you're doing. You know, I attended the production class after I started producing, but there were certain things. Sometimes you don't get to know some of these things while on the job. Yes, you do sometimes. But I needed to know the basics. I wanted to learn, you know, the art of production, film production, and that's what took me to those places. Naturally, I'm like that. Whatever I do, I want to go to school. Just like broadcast, I was on radio, film, you know, so it's just who I am. I love to learn. I'm that kind of person. I can learn anything. I just love to add knowledge to myself, so. That's why.
It feels like with you know, we call it Kpali here.
Yeah.
You know, with those kind of certificates and, you know, that kind of backing, that kind of knowledge, feels like you're prepared for anything. But I know that there must have been some cases on set during production that you were like, you know what, I'm done. I'm not do again. You know, because it does, as you said earlier, get a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah, actually does. The last film I made, I produced and directed, not this one, the one before this one. It was something. Okay. I remember, I'll just put you through some things that happened on set, you know, and then we got to set, we're supposed to shoot in an estate, and then people said to us that the owner of this house didn't inform us, and they didn't let us in.
Wow.
And my crew, everybody were outside, we couldn't come in, my cast, wow. And for like 3-4 hours, we're there.
Wow.
At some point, I'm like, what's gonna happen? Like, I need to shoot this film, you know, so sometimes we get to see, you know, hiccups like that. That was really tough. I think of all my films, that was really something. And the interesting part is that this particular film is a film that I made for my advocacy group. Yeah, I have an advocacy team called Movement Against Child Sexual Abuse. So I said to myself, I'm a filmmaker. How can I add my voice to this menace, you know, as a filmmaker? So I said, okay, I'll make a film. So the film is called Dark Clouds. Went on set, like I said, it was really something. It was hectic. We had a lot of challenges. We got to the court where we were supposed to use. They told us we couldn't film, you know, so it was really... But I said, well, I think it's because of the purpose of the film. That's why we went through all of those difficulties. But at the end of the day, we shot it, it came out, and it's really serving the purpose for which the film was shot, yeah.
So now you've talked about actual challenges on set, but before you even get to set, before you cast, before you even rent the equipment, there's a lot of capital involved. Now, you did take a break for a while to, you know, start a family, but then that investment, that risk, how did you make that decision to, you know, jump back in at such a scale?
Well, I'm someone who, whatever I want to do, I don't give up. I'm someone who I just push. I just keep pushing. When I made my first film, rather, I remember I made a lot of mistakes, trust me, in terms of budgeting, I made a whole lot of mistakes. But you see, life itself is a process and it's a learning process. Sometimes you do some things, you make mistakes, you go back, you check yourself, what did I do wrong? So with all of that, I think you'll be fine. Yeah, when you make mistakes and you adjust based on those mistakes and you learn from them, I mean, subsequently it became like as easy as peasy. I'm really happy to have had this conversation with you. I would really love to know more about your advocacy and what you're doing. Please tell us a little bit more about this group you've started and what you've been able to achieve so far. So a couple of years ago, let me start by saying a couple of people have asked me, have you ever been molested as a child? You know, what inspired you to start this advocacy? And I said, interestingly, no. This inspiration came a couple of years ago based on something that happened to me personally, though. I mean, I'm no longer a child, so, but something happened and I said to myself, I've always known that I wanted to do something for kids, for children, but I didn't quite know the direction I was going to go. So a couple of years ago, something happened and I said, okay, I think this is it. So I reached out to a couple of people. I have this thing in my head. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to start it. And then somehow we just started it, you know.
What was it, like on WhatsApp? Was it in your church group? Or
yes, WhatsApp. Yeah, I just put one or two people together and then we formed the WhatsApp group. And then we just started every week. We post messages on social media. We had workshops, you know. And like I said, this particular film that we made.
Have you ever felt robbed or something that should have been yours? Well,
if it wasn't yours to begin with, if it wasn't yours to begin with.
Do you believe that thing that what will be will be? You believe that?
Yeah, I do. But
yeah,
I also believe
I'm on the other side.
God's plan is best. Yes. What?
But it's not what will be will be.
I hear you.
Do you really fully agree that what will be will be?
You can change some aspects.
Okay.
But maybe you might change the routes to where you are getting to.
I'll make do with that. Well, we're not going to rob you of entertainment this morning because we've got a dose of entertainment for you. And of course, we are dishing it out.
Yeah.
Unmeasurable content.
So whether you're tuning in from your morning commute or you're sipping your first cup of coffee or tea or whatever at home, we have something for everyone right here on the #1 breakfast show in the country. This is Wake Up Nigeria.
Definitely. We have a whole lot of stuff. It's been a wonderful hour first that has gone. If you're just joining us, you missed it. But hey, come on. We'll try to ensure that this second part of the show will meet your expectations. Right? And yeah, there's stuff going on in the kitchen, of course. And can you tell us what's been happening there in the kitchen?
Yes, so much is happening here in the kitchen with Chef Bukola. Our yam is almost ready. We are about to begin our yamarita. Oh, pretty excited, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. She's so chilled. Love it.
All right, let's get straight. My name is Mike Nesikena.
And I'm Titilaya Oyin. So remember, you can use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC across all social media platforms to be a part of this show.
Yeah, you can watch us live across anywhere in the world via our mobile app. It's available on iOS and, of course, the Google Play Store.
GOTV channel 16, UHF channel 49. That's where you can catch us on TV. And we need you to follow us if you're not following us already, so you don't miss a thing at TVC Connect.
All right, we have a few trailers that I want to talk to you about. Some of them, most of them documentaries. You know, that's what we'll look at on our review today. This is basically a trailer watch. That's what we're doing for our movie segment this morning. And it's documentary based. Documentaries are quite cool, especially, you know, they are more factual than movies are.
Thanks for staying with us. This is the Wake Up Nigeria show, and welcome to the kitchen. Yes, with me is Chef Bukola, and this morning she's making yamarita with pepper sauce. Hey. Okay, so we have started the first stage of our breakfast recipe this morning, and so our yams have been cooked.
Yes.
So what's next?
So I'm going to prep in the flour.
Okay, so we have our flour, which we're going to be using for the yamarita, and our eggs as well. Has anything gone into the eggs?
No.
Okay, so
I'm going in with the sugar into the flour. It's optional too.
Okay.
Or just to sweeten.
Please, it's optional. It's not by force.
Yeah. I'm going in with a little bit of salt.
Okay.
Just a little.
Okay. What else going
in?
Okay. If you're just joining us and you're wondering what's happening right now, so in the bowl we have our all-purpose flour, we have sugar and a little bit of salt. What we've done already with the yam, you want to tell us quickly?
Yeah, we boiled the yam.
Okay. For how long?
Close to like 80%. Like, it's not really cooked.
It's not like 100% cooked, but it's barely cooked.
Yes.
Let's say medium rare. You know how you'd make your steak and it's medium rare and that's, yeah, okay. And so now that we have our batter ready, or we have our flour mix ready, what's next?
So I'm going to go in with my spices into the egg.
Okay. All right, what ingredients is that?
That's curry.
Okay. If you missed out on the ingredients earlier on, it's going to come on your screen in a bit, and so that you can catch up on what we've been doing here in the kitchen. Right there, the ingredients on your screen. I told you we're making yamarita with pepper sauce. We have all the ingredients right there. Luckily, it is the weekend. Woo! So this is something that you can make for breakfast in the morning, right? Because you have all the time. Because yamarita is not an easy meal. You have to really take your time, prep all your ingredients, right?
Yes.
You know, and make them. It's also a fun and interesting way to incorporate yam into your children's meal, because children don't really like yam. But, you know, make it more fun, make it more interesting, make it more whimsical. They're going to be excited about it. They may not even know it's yam.
Yeah.
So if you cut them like into really tiny strips, and you make them as yamarita, I think they're really going to love it, right? Great. Okay, so now that we have all our ingredients in here.
Yeah, we are going to whisk till it's well incorporated.
Okay, till all the ingredients are properly absorbed in the eggs. Okay, so we have, what's in here again?
We have our ginger and garlic. We have curry, we have grounded pepper in it.
Okay.
We have seasoning and we have salt in it.
So this is just to give it an extra flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that you also added sugar to the yam while it was cooking.
Yeah.
Okay, to make it sweet. Right. Earlier we were talking about how, I think someone needs to come and teach us how to shop for yams.
Yeah.
What are the things to actually look for when you're going to shop for yams? Because you can't use yam at this time of the year, where, it's the new yam season. You can't just use any kind of yams. You have to be very, very meticulous what to use for cooking, what to use for frying, what to use for pounded yam, what to use for porridge. Oh, I see you adding green bell peppers in there.
Yeah, just to make it colorful.
Oh, great. Okay. It's coming on really nicely. I see. So quickly show us how you're going to do this, even if it's just one. Because we have our vegetable oil. It has been cooking for a while now. And so we have our yam.
We are going to dip in the yam.
Okay, in the flour.
Yes.
And always also ensure to drain off the water from your yam.
From the yam, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So after that, we are going to dip it inside.
In the egg batter. Okay. We have all our ingredients already in the eggs. In the egg batter, rather.
Yes. Once it is going inside the egg, it's going directly into the oil.
Into the oil. Okay, let's move that closer. All right. Ooh.
You have to fry on medium heat.
Medium heat, not hot heat. Yes. Not very hot heat. Okay. Just make sure that it's medium rare. Not too much heat, but just okay. Okay. So, of course, we are having this pepper sausage to be made alongside our yamarita. And, yeah, breakfast coming together really nicely. And we had to head over for some movies. There were a few trailers that got our attention recently, and would like to review them. Check them out shortly. And watch this.
We have some fashion. Now, the weekend is coming, and a lot of people have places to go. And this is why fashion designers like Oba Casual are making so much money. He is trying his best to redefine fashion when it comes to self-empowerment. Not just for him, but beyond just seams and stitches. He's trying to make a statement, and that's why he's here today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Oba Casual. So talk to us about the Oba Casual brand.
Okay, so Oba Casual has kingship in mind. Oba Casual has style, elegance, has we want to increase the level of confidence of every man out there.
Okay.
We want you to know that your dress can be a source of inspiration to some other person, and even you that's wearing it. Oh. So Oba Casual is for kings. Yeah. Yeah.
Oba Casual for kings.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the truth is, you have Oba and Casual in the name.
Yeah.
Any specific reason why you chose that name?
Okay, so first of all, I was obsessed with Yomi Casual.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a mentor from afar.
Okay.
So I coined that name I got the Casual from him, and then my name is Obafemi, so why not Oba Casual?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting choice.
Yeah.
But Oba means king.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
and
yes.
you just said Oba Casual is for kings.
Yes, yes.
Now, so it's a very high pedestal to look up to.
Yeah.
A lot of big shoes to fill, especially in this industry now.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going into men's fashion in a big way. Do you feel any pressure about that sort of competition?
So to answer that, no. I don't feel it. Yeah, I don't feel any kind of pressure. I'm just doing my thing. I believe that inspirations are not. They're not for only you, but then if you do something about them quickly, your uniqueness will show to your world.
All right.
Yeah. So there's no pressure anywhere. Yeah.
So I'm seeing you're wearing a native piece here.
Yeah.
It's a short sleeve native, bishop's collar.
Yeah.
Is this one of your pieces? Let me just confirm.
One of my pieces.
Okay. Yes. So now I'm a big fan of comfort, right? This looks very comfortable.
Yes.
But have you gone a little further out of the box with any of your looks?
Yes, I have. We do urban stuff too. sophisticated stuff, but not so sophisticated because we still have comfort in mind and class also. So, yeah.
All right.
So that's it.
Okay, now you look really great in what you're wearing. Let's see what some of your models are wearing. I would love model number 1 to come out. Please come along. Let's see what you're wearing. Okay, all right. Step back, step a little further back. All right, just a little further back. Thank you. Right there. Okay. Yeah, so that we can see it perfectly. So what he's wearing, talk to us about what he's wearing.
Okay, so what he's wearing now is a blue Bells native.
Okay.
Yeah, the fabric is called Bells.
Okay.
And, you know, what just inspired is just simplicity. I think that, you know, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, you know, so, and that's the inspiration behind this.
So this is a 3/4 sleeve.
Yes, 3/4 sleeve.
It's not exactly a long sleeve, it's not a short sleeve.
No.
It looks risky to put a sleeve of that length on a native.
Yeah, it looks risky, but then it's classy, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, comfort still.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the main, because sometimes, you know, we're in Lagos and heat sometimes, so, and then some people don't like, you know, this part of their arms out there, so we just wanted like a balance between long and short sleeve, and and that's how.
Okay.
That's why we do this. Yeah.
It does seem like the 3/4 sleeve seems to be sort of in vogue right now.
Yeah, it's kind of in vogue, yeah.
But is this a recent thing? Is this less than a year ago or about
so it's always been there. It's always been there, especially for female fashion. Yeah, it's been there for female fashion because we see a lot of that in female fashion. But I think that it became really loud like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So, and then we saw that it fit into what we're trying to do also, so we inculcated it.
Okay, all right. And then, of course, once you have the 3/4 sleeve, you don't need cufflinks anymore.
You get just
and then
throw
that
it on.
whole drama of, you know, you're missing a cufflink or you're looking for cufflinks to wear, you don't need
there.
that. All right, then.
Yeah.
Now, we have another model here with us. I've just noted that you don't just make natives.
Yes.
All right, talk to us about what he's wearing.
Okay, so this is a double-breasted male suit. It's a classic one, and you know, of course, comfort again. And then what we had in mind when we were making this piece was power.
Okay.
Yeah, kingship, business mogul, like just the alpha male kind of
alpha male look.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, that thing. Yeah.
But it feels a bit much for just the office. It feels a bit much.
Yeah. This can work for your wedding as well. It can work for other, you know, outings and all of that. So yeah.
Okay. So this is more of an events look.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So are dramatic lapels coming back in? I feel like the lapel is not as common as.
Yeah. So we wanted something that you could wear for an official event and an unofficial event. Do you get? So just a balance of that. It's not common with double-breasted suits. Double-breasted suits are you know, are supposed to be formal.
Sure.
But then we just wanted that balance, you know.
Those are some very bright buttons as well.
Yeah.
I'm also, you know, seeing there's a lot of button work on that. A lot of button work on that. I feel like double-breasted suits look good on men of a certain shape. You know, so the men obviously come in different shapes and all that.
Yeah.
So would you advise this for someone with broad shoulders or maybe someone with a slimmer fit?
So I think that it all depends on, you know, the measurement and the efforts put into making it. If you study the body shape very well, almost anything can work for anybody.
Okay.
Not everything works for everybody, but you can make almost everything work for anybody.
Okay.
So I think that it goes for everybody. It just depends on the designer.
All right. Now let's talk fabrics, though.
Yeah.
Because every designer has their preferred fabrics of choice.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned a particular fabric
Bells.
already, Bells.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that a type of cotton?
It's a type of cotton, but it's just in between thick and not too thick.
Okay.
So I prefer bells. Some people prefer cashmere, you know, and there are different grades of cashmere too.
Sure.
You know, 3-star, 5-star, 7-star.
Which obviously affects the price.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So now everyone wants to look, in quote, expensive. They want to look of a certain status, but they don't want to spend that much to get there.
Yeah.
So in cases like this, what do you advise?
So in cases like this, I feel like there are other... Bells is not far out of reach, you know, if you ask me. It's quite affordable.
Okay.
You know, it's just in between. It's not too expensive, just the way it's not too thick and it's not too thin. It's also, you know, budget-wise, I think it's friendly and reasonable to go for bells also. So, yeah.
All right.
That's it.
I think we have some other models standing by as well. Let's see if they're ready to showcase for us. Okay. I'm hearing they're getting set. They're almost here. They're almost ready. But I want to talk about colors as well, because it does feel like, so I love bright colors, as you can imagine. I'm wearing orange today, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know, when it comes to your brand, from the images we've been seeing, I've been seeing more of the deeper, more toned down colors. Is this for your brand, or is it really about the customer and what they want?
So mostly it's about the customer. Yeah, mostly it's about the customer. And, you know, and at times we get to do the fabric sourcing. You know, they leave it to us and we choose it. And one of the reasons why I go for deep colors is that, you know, because of what I have in mind, kingship and that you know, style that I want to portray, I feel like deep colors would speak my mind more, you know, when it comes to my style. So, yeah, that's just it.
I did see some bright green just now and bright purple. That gave me some hope.
Yeah. So, that, I mean, like I said, it depends on the client also.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
Thank
I
you.
have to say a big thank you to you for coming to showcase for us today. We might not have time to see the extra models coming through right now, but I know that all your stuff is right there online on Instagram for people to see.
Thank you
They'll
so
be checking it out. That's Oba_casual on Instagram. So we'll definitely be looking out for you.
Thank you so much.
Now, good luck with everything you're doing.
Thank you.
And thanks so much. We have something for you in the kitchen, actually. Our chef has been hard at work with MM. So make sure you stay right here. Let's see some more of your pieces, and we'll be back in the kitchen. Okay.
Welcome to the kitchen of our casual.
Thank you.
All right. This is Chef Bukola, and this morning she's made for you yamarita with pepper sauce. Anyway, you're a proper Yoruba boy, so you like pepper. Great. Okay, so I'm just going to move this over.
Yeah. All right.
So while you have a taste.
All right. Have a quick taste.
Yeah. I'd like to know what you think about it as well.
Ooh. Looks good.
Yeah, it does actually.
Very
good.
good.
Don't underestimate that pepper. Don't underestimate it at all. All right. What do you think?
What do you think?
Nice.
All right,
Bukola.
that's the response we were looking for.
Yeah. Well done. Well
She
done.
was looking so nervous. She was looking nervous.
It's really good.
All right. Thank you so much for being on the show.
So there's something you don't need to be nervous about. We will be back on Monday morning at 7 a.m.
Titi,
Don't
does it
worry.
ever end, my God?
Don't worry. We are going to be back 7